You send me all sorts of questions, and today's is very sweet. It's about rambling, and the question is, how do I stop rambling in a conversation? I ramble in front of my friends a lot, and they get bored and start ignoring me. Well, there's not a lot of context to that question, so I'm going to have to do some guesswork here. And I'm going to give you 3 suggestions on how to handle this, and if I don't hit the spot, get back in touch and let me know. The first thing about rambling is becoming aware that we ramble, and some of the worst ramblers just aren't aware that they're rambling. You clearly are aware, so that's a great thing. Keep that up, keep noticing when you're rambling, when you're talking too much, when you're feeling that the other people in the conversation are becoming disengaged with you. Really useful thing to do is to throw the light on the other people in the conversation. This is something I suggest for business networking. When people are nervous doing business networking, approaching strangers, talking to them for the first time, they feel that they ramble too much. Well, practice in these situations, shining the light on the person you're speaking to, not keeping it all to yourself. So answer their questions as briefly as you can, and then say, but what about you, and what is it you do, or how was your day, or and they'll answer, and when they do, ask them a bit more about it. And even when they throw the spotlight of the conversation back onto you, politely acknowledge, but then throw it back onto them as well. If you practice that, you'll find the conversation becomes more even, and you should feel less of a sense that you're dominating it with your rambling. Next thing I just want to ask you, is it a case that you don't feel listened to? You say that friends are walking away. I don't know if you're exaggerating. But if you don't feel listened to, it may be that your audience is not the right audience for you. Are you sharing the right things with your friends? Sometimes our friends will be very happy to listen endlessly to anything that we have to say. Other times, particularly if perhaps we're repeating past mistakes over and over again, or we only have one topic of conversation and it's not terribly interesting to them, well, we can't really blame them for switching off. Or maybe they just can't solve the problem that you're talking about and they feel frustrated, so they disengage. So it's worth thinking about these things. Think about the last conversation that you had and write down for yourself on a piece of paper what it was about, and have a think about it and ask yourself, well, could that person have done anything to help me? Or was their only option really to disengage? And then perhaps decide, well, I won't bring that up with those people anymore if I feel they're not engaging with me on it. If you feel they should be engaging and they're not, well, ask them. Just ask them outright, is this something, am I boring you with this, or does this make you feel uncomfortable? And just see if you can find out why they're disengaged, and that might be a really enlightening conversation to have. And thirdly, are you hearing them? What I mean is, yeah, they may be walking away, but I wonder how many other verbal or non-verbal signals they gave you before they finally gave up and walked away from you. Were they actually trying to say to you, I can't help, or I don't want to talk about this, or this is too much information, or this is making me feel uncomfortable? They may not feel confident to say that to you outright, but they may have been using body language to communicate this to you, maybe looking away when you're speaking, or looking down, fiddling about with a piece of their clothing before they finally walked away. Now that may sound simple, but I experience this quite a lot with people in conversations in networking, where I want to get away from the person who is just broadcasting at me, and they're not picking my verbal cues up at all, and they're not picking up my body language at all. Sometimes a good way to end a conversation, if that's you, is to hand over your business card and say, it was lovely to meet you. But on the other side of the conversation, we need always to be reading each other for the signals that the other person is ready to move on, so we don't get to the stage where their only option is to walk away from you, and that's it, because then both parties feel bad. I hope that was helpful. If not, do drop me a line. Do please subscribe to my video channel if you found this video helpful, and I welcome any other questions that you have. Please email them to me at julie@juliehalpr.com. Many thanks.